Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Allison Wiley. Joining me today, our special guest is Liz Gunski. She is a veteran in organized real estate with a track record of delivering exceptional results for clients. With 15 years of experience in the industry, she has built a reputation for providing strategic guidance and innovative solutions to help clients achieve their goals. As the Vice President of Industry Relations at RPR, Liz brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to every engagement. Throughout her career, Liz has earned a reputation for being responsible, reliable, and results-driven. She is committed to building strong, long-lasting relationships with clients and is passionate about helping them succeed. She is also actively involved in the real estate community, having served as an advisor to the Real Estate Standards Organization, RESO, and holds the CMLX2 designation. Liz, welcome onto the show today. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. That was a great introduction. I appreciate it. And I appreciate having the opportunity to be here.
Of course. And I'm super excited to be featuring RPR on this podcast. We have not done it in the almost 300 episodes that we've recorded of this show. This is the first time we're going to be dedicating an episode to RPR, to this resource, which I think is just so incredibly important and such a tool and an asset for our members. So I'm excited, Liz, that you're here with us today to tell us more about this, how our members can utilize it, and share with us some new features and things that our members may not know about it, because I know there has been some new additions to the platform. So we're going to dive all into that. But before we get started, I would like to know a little bit more about you. I know I read a little bit about yourself, what you do at RPR and your background, but tell us, kind of what's led you to where you are today. What's your background like? And how did you get involved in our industry?
Sure. It's funny. I don't think anybody ever grows up and says, I want a career in organized real estate.
Right.
But here we are. I got my start in the industry actually working at the MLS that's here in New England. It's a large regional MLS that serves 22 realtor associations. Actually, it's now 26. It was 22 back when I was there. And so I kind of learned it from the ground up, starting with MLS, then building those relationships at the association level. It was a great opportunity to really learn how realtors think and what they need. I then took that, expertise that I gained at the MLS and went out into the vendor world. I worked for a period of time on the MLS side at HomeSnap, which is no longer a product out there in the market, but it was great while it lasted. And then I did some consulting with T360, and that's really where I dove more in depth to the association side, specifically working with state associations and local associations. And then it was just sort of a natural fit to come over to RPR when the opportunity arose. And it's great. We get to serve all of our state associations, all of the local associations, and all 477 out of 498 MLSs across the country. So it's a great group that handles all of these partnerships and relationships. And I'm just the fortunate one that gets to lead a really incredible team.
Well, we love it. And I agree with you on that. It's funny how we find ourselves in this world, but it's amazing. And it's so much fun and being able to work, with our realtor members every day, is really, I think, what I enjoy so much about being, in this world and doing what we do. So yeah, that's amazing. And to those MLSs who haven't joined on yet, come on, guys, what are you waiting on?
Well, I'm happy to share that there are none in Ohio that have not joined. So we have 100% coverage in the state of Ohio.
Which is so cool. And that's why this tool, it makes it just that much more important and useful, I feel like, because you're having data. And I don't think there's anything else, at least that I can think of, in the state that's an available resource to our members. That's of no cost to them, right? So this is a member benefit that's included from belonging to the National Association, from belonging to Ohio Realtors. and from belonging to your locals. And this is included in your membership, which is just an amazing benefit. And I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else in the state, at least that I am aware of, where you're having this resource that's of no cost to you, included in your membership, by belonging to us. And it's an incredible resource to have all of that data accessible at your fingertips. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting for those that maybe aren't familiar with RPR. Let me just share a little bit about who we are. So RPR stands for Realtors Property Resource. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. So we were founded back in 2009. And really, our goal was simple. It was to just give realtors a powerful nationwide database that brought together MLS data, public record data, tax, mortgage information, et cetera, along with geographical data and demographics all into one platform. So that was the goal. And really, we've succeeded. So today, we're the largest national property database. We have over 160 million residential and commercial properties. Like I said earlier, we work with 96% of the MLSs and associations across the country, which really does allow realtors to have access to real-time data, tools like market trends, neighborhood insights, client-friendly reports. Our goal is to provide realtors with tools to make them more efficient. And being able to do that at no additional cost is really beneficial. So if you are a realtor out there, especially maybe someone that hasn't tried out RPR, check us out. You'll definitely be impressed with what we offer.
It looks so nice, and the branding in there is amazing too. Like the reports you can generate, it shoots out a ready to go report. I mean, the work that you're doing, once you do get the information you're looking for is so minimal. I mean, you guys have done a great job with, giving us a ready to go product that you can take and run with you, wherever you're going, whatever client meeting you're having, buyer, seller, and even meeting with legislators. And that's a really cool feature of this too. And I know we're going to get into the features here in a minute, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, it's an amazing tool. If you haven't been in there, what's the address? How can we access it? You can go in and create an account, and will you walk us
Yep,
through
you
kind of how
just
to do that?
Yeah, you go to www.narrpr.com. What you'll need to do is enter in your email address that you have with your MLS because we do match that data up. We also rely on M1 to validate. And from there, you can create your account. We also do have a mobile app. I highly recommend that you download that and also log in. There are a lot of features that are based off of location. So things like our property insights, which we'll talk about, which is AI driven, along with our new AI CMA that is in beta.
Exciting. We love having a little AI infusion into this too. So I know you shared some examples of what you can do within the system. How else have you seen members utilize this? What are some of kind of the more popular reports and things that are getting pulled from this data? What would you kind of recommend if you're kind of starting out? How should we get our feet wet and getting in there and starting to play around with this?
Sure. Well, I want to call out that RPR is built exclusively for realtors. There is no public facing website, right? So everything that you see is behind the scenes for realtors only. And our one of the key things that we pride ourselves on is the reports like you're talking about that agents are able to produce. In particular, you'll see us refer to them as next gen reports. And the reason for that is we gave all of our reporting tools a complete overhaul in the past year. So we actually spent almost a full year in beta where we were getting feedback on the reports to make sure that we were building them in the way that the practitioners really need for them to be built. So in the next gen reports, you'll find things like a seller report, buyer report, neighborhood report, school report. There's all different reporting tools where you can tell the story about the property. What's great about the new next gen reports is we added in a lot of really great features. So for example, you can now save a template, right? So if you know exactly what you always want to include in a seller report, you can save that. So every time you want to create a new one, that template is available to you and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Another key feature of our next gen reports is when you want to share them, you can share them as a URL, as a link, right? So you just copy and paste that URL and you provide it to your client. we will automatically update that URL every 48 hours. So let's say that it was a report that showed the sold data in the market for the last 3 months. Well, if something new sells, we're going to automatically update that. So you don't have to go back in and recreate that report. It's going to be done for you. So I would say the next gen reports is a really great place to start because it's going to give you so much data. The other really great tool that we provide is called our market trends report. So the market trends allows for you to look at various data elements based on a zip code, for example, or perhaps a city, right? So you enter in the zip code and you can run a report, and maybe you are just looking for what's the market just looking like? Is it a balanced market, seller's market, buyer's market, et cetera? Or maybe you want to dig deeper. You want to look at properties that went under agreement in the past 30 days, or you want to see what's sold in the past 30 days. And this is all just averaged out market trend data. So we created this into little, we call it a bite and a snack. So instead of getting all kinds of data dumped on you, you can just get little pieces of information that you think are important. We also call our market trends shareable. And the reason for that is you can share them out to social media. You can download the JPEG and include them in any reports that you would like to. So it really is little pieces of information that make the data in the market more digestible.
Yeah, and it's really great the types of data you can get. I love that it's broken down by zip code. I know so many of our members, work in just one area in one specific neighborhood in one specific zip code, one specific, city. And so it's really great that you're able to filter down into that localized of information. And yeah, I mean, the opportunities to share this information are, endless. And we always say, bring value to your clients by being the expert on this kind of stuff, showing them that market data. And this is such an easy way to be able to go and do that and pull that data and easily share it to social media, show off your expertise, show off specifics if you're looking for something specific, in the market or, within a specific housing trend, you're able to do that through RPR. And I think that's really great. And it's, you guys have done a great job refreshing that, adding the new features and making it just really useful, I think, to all realtor members. How have you seen members use this and give us maybe some examples of daily practices? I know you said sharing to social media, taking them to client meetings. What are some other ways you've seen realtor members use this on a daily basis within their business?
Interestingly, the next gen reports that I was just chatting about, we saw a brokerage in Florida that created a next gen report. It had the various pieces of data that they wanted to include, and they created the URL via the share feature. They actually embedded that into their website, and they don't have to do anything else because that updates every 48 hours. It's almost sort of like this rolling 30-day report for them. So it's always current and up to date, and it's providing the data without them having to do additional work. So that's a really great use of the new next gen reports. The market trends, what we're finding is there is a great need from our agents to want to provide this information for social media. So we have really built up the ability to share on social, and that is being used all the time. And what we did is I'm sure you have a question about AI, but I have to talk about this right now. But what we did is we actually added AI to our market trends report. And what you can do there is create social media shareables that you can put onto, your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. We added the ability for you to create video content. So it will create a script for your video based on the market trends. You'll also see there's the ability to create a PowerPoint presentation using the market trends data. And what's really great about all of this is not only can you create these different shareables, you get to choose your tone. Do you want to be engaging? Do you want to be professional? Do you want to sound friendly? Do you want to keep it casual? You can also pick your audience, buyers, sellers, investors, etc. So it really does allow for the agent, and we're seeing more and more use of this every day. It allows for the agent to truly be the subject matter expert in their market without having to do a lot of work to put this content out.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't get easier than that, right? I mean, it's so turnkey. It's stuff that's going to take a few clicks and it's going to generate something that's going to be ready to go for you to present. Of course, we always say make sure you look over anything, when you're using
100%.
AI edit. Make sure, you're taking a look at that before anything's going out to your clients or whoever you're speaking to. But doesn't get much easier than that. And that's the great thing about this. This information is
Right.
fantastic, and then being able to have it in such a turnkey way makes it just even better. And you mentioned, another way to use this. And actually, when I was first getting introduced to RPR, it was actually with our legislative team. And they were getting trained on how to use this with their state legislators, or how to train our SPCs and FPCs on this, and how to generate those reports. So when you're heading into these meetings, with your representatives, you're having very nice put together sheets that has their name on it, and presented in a really nice way. Talk to us about the legislative side of things and how you've seen some members being able to use that information as they do go work with our legislature.
Sure. Yeah. Our economic area reports can be run at both the local and the federal level. I'm sure that you've had the opportunity to run those. We also have our housing report, which is available at the state level, and it provides an overview of the monthly statistics on what is happening in the market for a particular state. So we feel really fortunate that so many of those that work in advocacy are able to run these reports and share them. We do see a really big uptick in May, June, when we're all heading to DC.
Yep.
For RLM.
Yep.
And more than anything, what our goal is to support the needs of those that are advocating and to provide NAR with any of the advocacy tools that they need as well. So not everybody, it's important to note, not everybody has access to advocacy reports. It's not something that every agent can run. We do make that available at the staff level to those that are in a position where they need to use those reports for their day-to-day practice with advocacy.
Yeah, they're super helpful. I know, as we were getting trained on it, we were prepping some of our members to go meet with their legislators on it. Great information to have, and I can't tell you how many times we get questions from our legislators on what's the status of the housing market, what's the status of the housing market in my particular district, and being able to pull that, have data that's accurate and reliable, and being able to share that information, with the click of a few buttons, really makes our lives easier, because everyone's always interested in the housing market. And that's, one of the things that I love about this industry too. It's always top of mind for people, for our legislators, for economists. I mean, it's such a pillar to, just the US as a whole. Everyone wants to always know, how's the housing market? What's going on? What are the trends? How's it in my area? And being able to easily do that, is super helpful. And I know I've used it. We use RPR here at Ohio Realtors to generate our monthly home sales data. And that's been super easy and simple to do, to be able to pull it straight from RPR, to use that MLS data, from across the state's been so easy for us. But we'll also get media reports and media requests on these reports. So using that, anytime the media calls as well, being able to generate those numbers has been amazing from a staff perspective, but it can also help, our members on an everyday basis too. And that's why it's so important to have this conversation. Liz, I want to hear a little bit more about this AI stuff. I know you ran through a new feature just a minute ago, but tell us more about these new AI features and what we can expect working with that.
Sure. I kind of want to start with, sort of where we stand philosophically when it comes to AI, right? Because when AI started to take off, we didn't just want to build, we wanted to build with intention, right? So we had a lot of conversations internally about what it was that we were hoping to do with AI. And what we kept coming back to is, number one, we don't want to replace the realtor, right? We want to amplify them. We believe that AI should remove busy work, not expertise. Having AI built into RPR, it frees up agents to focus on what they do best, right? Which is building relationships, guiding clients, closing deals. So every AI feature that we build supports this philosophy, which is just speed up the behind the scenes tasks and keep the realtor front and center in the transaction. So the first thing that we did is what I just spoke about a few minutes ago, which was adding our what we call script writer to our market trends. That allows client-ready narratives that analyze the local market metrics, trends, pricing, etc. From there, on mobile, what we did is built property insights. And a use case for this would be you're in a neighborhood and you are showing a property and your buyer says, I like it, but I don't love it, but I really do want to be in this neighborhood. What else is available? And so you run a quick search in RPR based on your location, and you see that a half mile down the road, there's something that might suit them. If you go on to that property, you'll see a little button that says AI Insights. And with one click of a button, you can create a little quick paragraph to speak intelligently about what that property is without having to look through the whole listing details page. It'll just spit out a quick report, 2-bedroom, 3-bath, this much square footage, acreage, etc., and just give you the basics so that you can provide that to the client. You can even text it to them. So that's another use case. One thing, though, that we really knew needed improving was our mobile CMA. We do a lot of studying of behavior. And what we were finding was that folks were coming in, creating a CMA on mobile and abandoning it. And that told us that we needed to improve what our mobile CMA looked like. So we have the most incredible team of programmers who went and they did a little hackathon for those in the tech industry to come up with how they could possibly solve this dilemma with our mobile CMA. And we had a couple of folks that got together and they developed an AI CMA. So what that does is when you go to create the CMA on mobile, it is going to use AI to find the comps for you. Not only is it going to find the comps for you, it's going to score them. So it could range from 0 to 100. So obviously, the higher the score, the better it is, right? Now, the agent can, of course, still remove, add comps, etc. But really what this does is reduces that manual work. Another thing that we added into the AI CMA is what we call pricing strategy. So it's going to give you information, especially behind the psychology of pricing. If you, for example, price too high, how is that going to be perceived? If you price too low, how could that be perceived? But we also do a buyer CMA, right? So if you were to offer this price, how is that going to be perceived by the seller? So there's a lot of psychology, as we all know, behind pricing and behind offers, but we're now using AI in this CMA to share that information with you. So it has really taken off. It's in beta now. It is available to everybody. We encourage you to go in, give it a try. But the reason why we take our products in these tools into beta is so we can get your feedback. Tell us what we're doing right. We love to hear it, but tell us where we could also improve, because we always know that there is room for improvement, and there's a little beta button there for a reason, and it's so that we can listen to your feedback.
No, that's amazing. I know as you're explaining this, I'm like, I want to get in there and start playing around with some of this. It sounds so fun. So is there a way, if we're in there playing around and we have a question about something or do want to share some feedback, is there a way that we should do that, through the app, if we're on the computer side of things, if we're on our browser? What's the best way if we do have feedback, if we are in there playing around, or we do have suggestions or things like that? How can we get in touch?
Sure. Yeah, there is your standard feedback button that is available in the AI CMA, but we also have our support team, which is I'll have to get you the 800 number. I don't have it offhand, and support at narrpr.com. And we have a great support team. They're all located in Omaha, Nebraska. There to answer all of the questions that you might have. But I will say training is another key piece. We have a really remarkable training program that can probably answer a lot of your questions on the fly. So if you go to narrpr.com, you're going to see a learning button at the top of the page. That will take you right into all of our training resources, everything from printables to short videos to webinars that you can take to educate yourself on the various tools that are available.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we have a meeting here at Ohio Realtor. Staff has a meeting with Ernie, who is your colleague at RPR, in a couple weeks to see if maybe we can do some trainings here too at Ohio Realtors, open that up to our membership to try to get you guys trained up on this, in addition to what Liz just shared that you can find, directly through RPR. But hopefully we can offer some trainings for you guys here in the next couple of months to help that and help get you guys acclimated to this research and start using it. Because I'm listening to you describing all this, and I'm like, man, if I was a realtor, I'd be in here every day pulling stuff, or every time I'm working with a client, every time I'm meeting with anyone. Like, this is amazing. There's so much there that's going to be so useful, and that you want to equip yourself with as you're heading into these meetings with your clients.
Thank you. Yeah, we've worked really hard to build a tool that we feel that benefits realtors and really makes them the subject matter expert and puts them front and center of every transaction.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just another great tool to have in your toolbox as you're working on your presentations, as you're, doing anything, listing presentations, buyer presentations, such a great tool to have to bring along with you. So informative too. It helps you be better at your job, which I think, we always want that, right? Anything up and coming? Can you share with us anything that's, you're working on next that we should be anticipating? I know this AI stuff has been, a huge lift and great work on that, and can't wait for everyone to get in there and start using that. What's next for RPR? Are you guys hoping to evolve this, even more? What's the plan for RPR, as we head into the new year?
Sure. Yeah. So, we're taking a little deep breath right now because
Yes.
last year we launched a lot of new products, and our goal is to make sure that the products that we have are working the best that they possibly can. So that's sort of where we are in the moment today.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes especially to these AI tools, we're always building on them, right? So we're adding additional audiences, for example. When we first started our market trends scriptwriter, for example, we only had the option of your audience being buyer seller. So we've upgraded that, and we've changed it to now pick investors or pick first-time home buyers. So we're growing the tools that already exist based on the feedback that we're getting from all of you. So that really is our focus right now. And our focus is in making sure that our association and MLS partners know that there is such value in RPR that's already available to them, and they don't have to go out and pay for third-party products that are already providing solutions that RPR provides.
Yeah, no, and that's key. That's so important to know. I'm thinking, even if you're a broker and you're paying for some market data somewhere, I mean, check out this. It's fulfilled our needs and our monthly home sales reporting. It has made our lives here at Ohio Realtors, from a staff perspective, so much easier, and I know it will for you guys too. So, well, Liz, congrats on such a successful launch with all of the new products and integrations you've been doing, and thanks for being with us today and for creating such an awesome product for us.
Well, thank you. I wish I could take credit for building it. I just am the lucky one that gets to sometimes be the face of RPR and share all of this with all of you. But none of this would be possible without a really great team backing up all of us that are out here every day talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to the whole team there with RPR for all the hard work you guys do for us every day. Members, check it out. As Liz mentioned in the beginning, the website, get your account, go sign up for it, and start playing around in there. Just so many great features to take advantage of. It's going to make, you just that much better of a realtor. So Liz, I want to thank you again for your time, for sharing all the cool stuff with us today. And we're excited about it. We're excited to get in there and play around with it. I know I'm going to when we hang up the call, but appreciate your time today and for sharing with us all of the knowledge and insights.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having us.
And to all of our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back with you next week. See you then. Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.